We'll try this again. Can everyone hear me? Good afternoon, everyone. Can I please ask everyone to rise for the official party's entrance and to remain standing for the singing of O Canada by UPEI students Alexandra Smith, Melissa Lewis, and Taylor Donald. Welcome to the 18th Annual Recognition of Founders Ceremony on this Founders Day. My name is Nicole Phillips, and I'm humbled as an employee of this great institution to be a part of today's celebration. I would like to acknowledge that the land on which we gather is the ancestral and unceded territory of the Mi'kmaq people of this region called Epipet, the Mi'kmaq name for Prince Edward Island. I further acknowledge the original custodians of the land and give thanks to the elders, those in the spirit world who came before us and gave us the teachings of life, those here today who preserve the stories and traditions and guide us as knowledge keepers, and those who are elders in the making. The recognition of founders was created in the year 2000 to build on our sense of community, to celebrate the commencement of the academic year, and to recognize the many contributions, commitments, and sacrifices that have brought higher education in PEI to where it is today. I would like to introduce the members of our official party, President and Vice Chancellor, Dr. Ala Abdelaziz, President of the UPEI Student Union, Mr. Hamad Ahmed, University Chaplain, Sister Susan Kidd, Dean of the Atlantic Veterinary College, Greg Keefe, and our founders, Dr. Francis W.P. Bulger, or Father B, as we know him fondly by, Miss Glenda Clements-Smith, Dr. Brendan O'Grady, Dr. Glenn Palmer, and the Honourable Eugene F. Whalen Green Hat Award winner, Jewell Dale Farm, represented by Kevin Jewell. And greetings to the members of the Board of Governors, honorary degree recipients, founders of the university, Senate, current and retired faculty and staff, students, ladies and gentlemen, and I'd also like to acknowledge that our Chancellor has joined us today, Dr. Dawn McDougall and Mrs. McDougall. I now invite Sister Susan Kidd to come forward to give us a blessing.
Let us pray. God of all ages, we place before you our afternoon ceremony marking the 18th recognition of founders at the University of Prince Edward Island. We ask you to bless this celebration, honoring our rich heritage and traditions as we acknowledge the people who have contributed to the university in an exceptional way. For generations now, centuries even, our ancestors and elders have left their footprint so that we may follow. And today in particular, we honor Father Francis Bulger, Ms. Glenda Clements-Smith, Dr. Brendan O'Grady, Dr. Glenn Palmer, and as well the Jewell Dale Farms. They have used their gifts and talents to help our students and others appreciate the stories of our ancestors in communication and in science, and through experiential learning of veterinary medicine. Because these founders found themselves and gave of themselves, we today find our place, and we're grateful. And as we remember the many good works that have built this academic institution, may we continue to reflect that in our daily interactions. We are grateful for our past. We pray for wisdom in our present and vision for our future. For all that has been, we say thank you. And for all that will be, let's say yes. May this be our prayer. Amen.
Please be seated. Thank you, Sister Sue. I now invite President and Vice Chancellor of the University of Prince Edward Island, Dr. Ala Abdelaziz, to the podium.
Good afternoon, everyone. What a great-looking family. This is one of the days where you feel really proud of your own history. History defined the future, and we have a fantastic future ahead of us that's built on great founders, and today we are going to celebrate some of them. When you go back to the history of UPEI, Prince of Wales College, St. Dunstan University, we have been here for many, many years. But one thing stands different than any other thing for us. It's the support of our community. It's the support of our faculty, staff, students, alumni, friends. When I look at the room now, I look at many of my friends, colleagues, students. Today, after I finish here, I go to strategic planning committee meeting, and after that to the Senate, and then distinguished alumni award winner. When you look at those three functions, it actually represent what we are celebrating today, our founders. The one that actually were the backbone of building this great institution. From strategic planning that took place over 100 years ago when we started this institution, to looking at the future of the university, all what you have to do is actually look at the 4 founders and the Green Hat Award winners and look at them and see what they have done. What a great example for all of us. At the same time, you leave inspired. Inspired because you know very well you have the history that you can talk about. You have the history that was built with these outstanding people. Every year when I celebrate the Founders' Day, I tell myself, we have a fantastic group of people, but I know very well that there is many others that actually deserve the same recognition. And for them, I give my gratitude and my thanks for the time, their energy, what they did to build this great institution. I really like to thank also the university community, our faculty, staff, students, and our community, all members of our community, BEI as a whole. The support that's given to this university, you will not find it anywhere else in this country. It's a great place to be in. And the stories that you will hear today about each one of our founders can be repeated many times, because we have a great island that produced many wonderful people. And we have a great island that welcomes many people to come here and make it home. You don't find many places like that. Our university play a catalyst role. It's a place where we actually have many students, they come here from different backgrounds. They come, they work, they enjoy what they are doing, and they become the leaders, and the leaders that are going to be taking us to a bright future. On behalf of the entire university, I would like to thank our founders for everything they have done. And today is just a small acknowledgement for what you have done for UPEI, for AVC. What a great place. This place could not be here without you. I'd like also to thank the community at large, that we have members of the government here. We have also Mayor Dunphy representing, again, our larger community. And not largest community, I'll get into trouble if I say that. Charlottetown is still the largest. I live in Cornwall, I'm fine. So really, it's a wonderful day, and it's touchy because when you read the story, when you hear about it, when you start to think about how this university was built, it makes every single one of us very proud. Thank you so much, and I look forward to congratulating you and look forward to all the good things that you have done that will inspire our people here in this room. Thank you so much.
Thank you, President Alla. I now invite another president, the president of the UPEI Student Union, to say a few words on behalf of the student body, Mr. Hamad Ahmed.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's just a beautiful day outside, and looking at all of you makes it even better. Thank you all for coming here. The student body is really pleasured by being invited here to be part of this wonderful ceremony. And on behalf of the whole student body, I would like to bring greetings to all of you, especially the founders and all the award recipients today.
Thank you, Hamad. We will now move into the presentation of the founders. We are fortunate to have the executive members of the UPEI student to assist us today with reading of the citations. After each citation is read, I'll ask that the founder will come to the front for a plaque presentation and remain for a photo. To begin and to read the citation for Professor Emeritus Father Bulger, I invite Mr. Will McGuigan, the VP Finance for the Student Union, to the podium.
Hello, everybody. Citation for Father Francis Bulger. Born in Stanley Bridge, Prince Edward Island, Father Francis W.P. Bulger has served generations of Prince Edward Islanders with distinction. Father Bulger was ordained as a Roman Catholic priest in the Diocese of Charlottetown in 1951 and served as the professor of history at St. Dunstan's University from 1959 until 1969, and then as the University of Prince Edward Island from 1969 until his retirement in 1994. His life experiences, such as serving as the chaplain in the Air Force Reserves and as the USSO officer in the Royal Canadian Air Force, has broadened his appreciation for the contributions from people from all different segments of our society. This insight is reflected in the number of important publications, most notably the PEI and Confederation 1863, 1873, and Canada's Smallest Province, which was a defining text used in island history schools. Father Bulger has also authored and contributed to numerous publications on the works and life of famed island author Lucy Maud Montgomery. During his career, Father Bulger was widely recognized as the unofficial dean of the island history, in large part because of his leading role in popularizing the academic study of the Prince Edward Island history at the university level. At a time when only national histories were ever seen to matter, he lobbied UPEI to offer courses in the history of Prince Edward Island. It became greatly popular, regularly attracting between 100 and 200 students, both regular undergraduates and members of our larger community. They were eager to understand their own history and irresistibly drawn to his charismatic lecturing styles. His legendary memory for names, along with where in PEI the student was from, and his comic aside, usually capped with an appeal to put the seal of the confessional on his sly and sometimes sassy editorial comments. As a teacher, he managed to make history endlessly entertaining and somehow personal for students without slipping into mere acronage. A former student and now professor of history himself, Dr. Ed McDougall offer of this summary. As chair of the Department of History, full of strong personalities, Father Bulger displayed a rare tactic and disciplinary that would have earned him a job at the United Nations if he didn't already hold down 2 careers as a professor and priest. He is a wise and discreet counselor. In recognition of significant contributions as an educator, Father Bulger has received several Canadian Council awards for his tremendous public and educational service. He was named Islander of the Year in '74, received the UPEI Award for Excellence in Teaching, the Youth Education Excellent Prize, Commemorative Medal for the 125th anniversary of the Canadian Confederation and Hillsborough Rotary Club, Vocational Service Award, was named a Rotary Club Paul Harris Fellow, and was inducted as a member of the Order of Canada and the Order of Prince Edward Island. He has served in leadership roles with the Canadian Catholic Historical Association, the Historical Sites and Monuments Board of Canada, the PEI Heritage Foundation, the St. Dunstan's University Board of Governors, and the Senate Diocesan Senate of Priests, the Atlantic Canadian Institute, the Lucy Maud Montgomery Foundation, the PEI Government Committee on the Renovations of Province House, the Lucy Maud Montgomery Heritage Society, Public Documents Committee of the Public Archives, the Canadian Historical Society, Advisory Board of the Kindred Spirits of Prince Edward Island, and the Friends of St. Andrews. Father Bulger's efforts have been truly exemplary and will leave a significant and lasting legacy for benefits of all Prince Edward Islanders. Today, it is my honor to recognize Professor and Father Bulger, tremendous contribution and tireless work on behalf of the UPEI by naming him a founder of our university.
To read the citation for Miss Glenda Clements-Smith, I invite Miss Fallon Mawhinney, fittingly the Student Union's Director of Communications and an English major, to the podium.
Good afternoon, everyone. It may not seem unique today, a young woman balancing the raising of 3 small children, part-time work, and the pursuit of a post-secondary education. But in the 70s and early 80s, a scenario like this was trailblazing and inspiring. Entering the University of Prince Edward Island on a full tuition scholarship and completing her studies as a part-time student, Ms. Glenda Clements-Smith graduated with a Bachelor of Arts in History and English in 1984, receiving the Dorothy Cullen Memorial Award in English and the History Department Prize. She went on to become a dedicated UPEI employee for over 25 years, who helped build the reputation of her beloved alma mater, both visually and through communications. In her first job at the university, Glenda was hired as a student employee by then Registrar Michael Hennessy to interpret and transcribe several cardboard boxes of typed and handwritten Senate minutes into the beginnings of UPEI's first set of official academic regulations. That daunting task alone should merit Ms. Clements-Smith being named a founder, but there are many more ways she's contributed to the university. While still a student, Glenda worked on a Government of Canada research project under the guidance of Jim Hancock, then Director of Commuter Services. With his encouragement and the support of colleagues, she commercialized that research project, creating a computerized visual information system for the PEI tourism industry, predating the arrival of the World Wide Web. Glenda developed a passion for art, academics, and animals at a young age. Known across campus for her nurturing leadership style, it came as no surprise that the many pets of her youth, horses, cats, crows, and even a skunk named Lucifer, and a series of beloved dogs, including her current Cairn Terriers, define Glenda as the ultimate animal lover. She has always been a strong advocate of the Atlantic Veterinary College and is a past member of the Board of Directors of the PEI Humane Society. It is at the AVC where Glenda began her full-time employment at UPEI, working with the graphics unit, where she created teaching and communications materials for the newly opened vet college. Eventually, the unit began to serve the entire university, and she lent her keen eye and hand to campus-wide projects, also assisting faculty with scholarly publications by providing computer-generated and hand-drawn illustrations. University leaders saw in Glenda an innate ability to look at a challenge and find creative and collaborative solutions. Thus began her quiet career ascent to managerial roles. She became manager of the graphics unit, and then, when President Emeritus McLaughlin created a combined department to coordinate graphic design, photography, web development, and communications efforts, she became manager of integrated promotions. Later, the department became Integrated Communications, the precursor to the present-day Marketing and Communications. She was appointed Director of Integrated Communications in 2007. It was during this time that Glenda took on a key initiative that would define her tenure at UPEI, her work with a task force that developed a policy and guidelines for the university's visual identity. She led efforts to educate the campus community on the benefits of a cohesive brand and inspired her talented staff to develop UPEI's current look, the university coat of arms, crest, flag, logo, and colors, which has led to better recognition at UPEI, better recognition of UPEI throughout the province, across the country, and around the world. A rewarding accomplishment in this process was the 2010 granting of official armorial bearings to UPEI by the Canadian Heraldic Authority. Based on an original concept by David Weber and incorporating imagery reflective of founding institutions, St. Dunstan's University and Prince of Wales College, you will see the rendering of UPEI's coat of arms on today's program. While Glenda may be best known for her artistic contributions, she equally contributed to the university's positive reputation through marshaling her team's talents in respectful support of the initiatives of other departments, editing the UPEI magazine, developing the university's annual reports, and writing numerous materials developed to promote UPEI to prospective students. Her experience and even demeanor also made her a wise counsel to senior administration when it came to managing issues and solving problems. In a letter she wrote to colleagues encouraging support of the construction of UPEI Alumni Canada Games Place, she reminded them of how the university can and should honor its past while building for its future community. That's exactly what we are doing today, by recognizing Ms. Glenda Clements-Smith's tremendous contributions and tireless work on behalf of UPEI by naming her a founder of the university.
I do have to add that Glenda is the reason I'm actually here today. She hired me. So thank you. To read the citation for Dr. Brendan O'Grady, Professor Emeritus, I invite Ms. Megan Ricks, Vice President of Student Life for the UPEI Student Union, to come forward.
Good afternoon, everyone. This year, 2017, marks Professor Brendan O'Grady's 70th consecutive year in the classroom. He started his teaching career at Power Memorial Academy in his native New York City in 1947, the same year he graduated from his beloved University of Notre Dame with a bachelor's degree in English literature. For the past 2 decades, he has been a much in-demand professor at the Seniors College, which is associated with UPEI, offering a variety of literature courses on poetry, on Shakespeare, and perhaps, needless to say, on Irish literary topics. In between, beginning in 1948, he taught with great passion, with great love for his subject matter, and great commitment to his students. First at St. Dunstan's College and University, and then from 1969 until his retirement in 1996 at the University of Prince Edward Island. Awarded an honorary degree by UPEI in 1990 in recognition of his scholarly work illuminating the long and deep historical connections between Prince Edward Island and Ireland. He was also named Professor Emeritus after his retirement. In 2012, he was presented with a Queen Elizabeth Diamond Jubilee Medal, further honoring his long career as educator and scholar. The son of Irish immigrants to New York City, Dr. O'Grady grew up with a profound appreciation for the value of education. Following his studies at Notre Dame, he undertook a master's degree in Columbia University. Wooed north of the border to teach at St. Dunstan's, he continued his studies, receiving his PhD from the University of Ottawa, while at the same time establishing himself as an integral member of the St. Dunstan's community. Rising to the rank of professor and chair of the English department, he also served as Dean of Studies and academic vice president. He was also a member of the University Planning Committee that led to the formation of the University of Prince Edward Island in 1969. Following the establishment of the new university, he served for many years as president of the St. Dunstan's University Board of Governors. In addition to educating 3 generations of Islanders in the university classroom, including some of his own 7 children, Professor O'Grady pursued an active scholarly agenda focused mostly on Irish literature and culture. He became a particular advocate for the novella The Weaver's Grave, a neglected masterpiece by Seamus O'Kelly, a contemporary of James Joyce. Professor O'Grady's most enduring scholarly project, however, is his book Exiles and Islanders, published in 2004 by McGill Queen's University Press, that is the definitive account of the Irish settlers on Prince Edward Island. A true labor of love and adventure in research and writing shared with the love of his life, his wife, Leah, Exiles and Islanders might be considered as his gift to the island that he adopted as home and that adopted him in return. A founding member of the Celtic Heritage Association of Prince Edward Island and the current patron of the benevolent Irish society, Professor O'Grady remains active in island cultural circles. Today, it is my honor to recognize Dr. Brendan O'Grady's tremendous contributions and tireless work on behalf of UPEI, naming him a founder of the university.
I'd also like to acknowledge that the president of the Benevolent Irish Society, Mr. Paddy Fitzgerald, is here with us today, as he wanted to celebrate this great honor with you, Dr. O'Grady. I now ask that Ms. Taya Neighbors, the Student Union's Vice President, Academic and External, to come forward to read the citation for Dr. Glenn Palmer.
Dr. Glenn Palmer is a founder of the University of Prince Edward Island in all senses of the word. A longtime professor of chemistry, he was here for UPEI's first day, and he remains an important part of the university community to this day. Dr. Palmer was born in Maple, Ontario. He was the first in his family to attend college, earning a diploma at what was then known as Ryerson Polytechnic. It was when working at the Chalk River Nuclear Laboratories that one of his co-workers told him he belonged at a university. We are all the richer for it. Dr. Palmer graduated with a bachelor's degree and his master's in chemistry from the University of Toronto in 1962. He moved to Imperial College in London for a 2-year fellowship with Derek Barton, later Sir Derek Barton, the Nobel laureate in chemistry for 1969. Dr. Palmer returned to Canada and completed his PhD in organic chemistry at Queen's University. After a few years of postdoctoral work, he saw the light and came to work in 1967 at Prince of Wales College in Prince Edward Island. Within a year of arriving, he made his mark on post-secondary education in the province, being selected by his peers to sit on the College Planning Committee, one of 2 groups that established Holland College and the University of Prince Edward Island. It was an impressive feat, as the 2 groups created, in less than a year, a brand new university and college. Over his distinguished career at UPEI, he was twice chair of the Department of Chemistry, and he served, for a brief time, as the university's Dean of Science. Dr. Palmer taught introductory chemistry, organic chemistry at all levels, and occasionally biochemistry, though his specific area of research was organic photochemistry. He was also instrumental in helping to build the Irving Chemistry Center. Dr. Palmer volunteered with the UPEI Athletics Boosters Club, being a particular fan of the Panther men's and women's basketball teams. His son, Dr. David Palmer, recalls his father saying that the old alumni gym was, quote, awful, but you were never more than 6 feet away from the action. Dr. Palmer and his wife, Marion, are longtime donors to the university. They have also been avid supporters of the arts, funding a scholarship awarded at the PEI Music Festival and contributing to the PEI Symphony and Confederation Center of the Arts. Dr. Palmer has been a member of UPEI Senate and the Board of Governors. He has been very active over the years with the UPEI Retirees Association. Therefore, this afternoon, on behalf of the university, I am proud to honor Dr. Glenn Palmer for his dedication to the university and all levels of post-secondary education on Prince Edward Island with this recognition as founder.
In the same year that the recognition of founders was created, in 2000, The Atlantic Veterinary College also established the Honourable Eugene F. Whalen Green Hat Award to recognize individuals who have played a significant role in the establishment and growth of the college. The greatest honor bestowed by ABC, the award is named after the Honourable Eugene Whalen, who, as a federal minister of agriculture under then Prime Minister Pierre Trudeau, he was a driving force behind the creation of ABC. The award is affectionately known as the Green Hat Award because Minister Whalen was well known for wearing a green Stetson. I now ask Ms. Jolene Vermeulen, AVC class of 2019, to read the citation for this year's Green Hat winner, and thus a UPEI founder, Jewell Firm.
Good afternoon, everyone. Jewell Farm is home to 3 generations of the Jewell family. Roy and Elaine started the farm in 1959. Their son Kevin and his wife Cheryl, and their sons Logan, Kyle, and Joel. The farm is managed collaboratively, with each member taking on various responsibilities. Logan manages the herd of 115 Holsteins, along with a Jersey or 2. Kyle looks after the crops, and Joel, who works at the local John Deere dealership, is their mechanic on call. Cheryl looks after the books for the farm. Kyle's wife, Jane, who grew up on a dairy farm in Nova Scotia, manages the young stock, and Logan's wife, Megan, is a veterinarian and graduate student at ABC. It is truly a family affair. The family's passion and care for their animals is evident. When you walk into the barn at Jewell Farm, you see a bright, airy space where the dairy cows feed and scratch their backs on rotating brushes, walk around on rubber mats designed to reduce stress on their hooves, or rest on foam mattresses. The Jewell's commitment to health and welfare of their herd has not gone unnoticed. Velacta, a regional dairy herd improvement organization, named Jewell Farm the top herd in Prince Edward Island in its 2016 Herd Performance Index. Jewell Farm has been a client of the college's veterinary teaching hospital since it opened in 1988. But the Jewell family are more than just clients. Their involvement in ABC runs much deeper. They have been a mainstay in the college's teaching program, providing opportunities for thousands of veterinary students to learn about bovine medicine, herd production, and management. They have participated in numerous dairy research projects and are strong supporters of other ABC activities, such as its annual vet camp program for 200 young junior and senior high school aged youth and the student-run bovine club. The family's support of ABC extends beyond the farm. Currently, Cheryl is involved in the veterinary medicine priority of UPEI's Inspire campaign. Dr. Sean McKenna, Service Chief of ABC Farm Service, nominated the Jewell family for this year's Green Hat Award. The Jewell family exemplifies the teamwork that is essential to a good relationship between a veterinarian and a producer. He says, "They are so supportive of the work that we do, it's beneficial for both of us. For their contributions to the education of future veterinarians and to the Atlantic Veterinary College, we are honored to award the 2017 Honourable Eugene F. Whalen Green Hat Award to the Jewell family and to Jewell Farm."
That actually brings the formal part of our ceremony to a close. Thank you so much to the founders that have made time in their schedules today to be with us. This has indeed been an inspiring one, and I'm honored to have been a part of the recognition. And on behalf of the entire university community, thank you to our newest founders for their contributions to UPEI. It is fitting that we are having today's event as part of our homecoming weekend. There are a number of great events happening today right through to the weekend. So I invite everyone to check the full schedule out at upei.ca/homecoming. There's actually a ceilidh on campus tomorrow night for those of you with that Celtic bent that the Benevolent Irish Society is partnering with us too. So thank you so much for coming today. There's a reception afterwards, so please stay to mix and mingle and congratulate in person our newest founders for the University of Prince Edward Island. Thank you for coming.